guys, it's Alexia Danielle here today. I recently ran across this video called the Let's Go Deeper tag, originally started by Kristen Loria, and I really enjoyed the questions that she asked, and it really just challenged me to think about these questions for myself and kind of evaluate how I feel about these things. So I'm going to present these questions to you guys. I'll leave them down in the description below. Have you guys answer them, create your own video about it, just think about it a little bit and get to know more about me as well. And I totally realize that it's been so long since my last video, but I ran out of storage on my old phone in which I used to record the videos with, and I just got a new one, so I finally had the time also to make this video today, despite the fact that I have homework due in a few hours. Nobody cares about homework. So yeah, I'm really excited to bring you this video today. I hope it kind of tells you a little bit more about me and that it kind of challenges you guys to think about these questions as well. So the first question is, where does your joy come from? I have to wholeheartedly and honestly say that my joy comes from God alone, from Jesus, and to some people it sounds really foreign, it sounds really weird, and I assure you guys that if you're feeling empty inside, if you're feeling like there's no purpose for you, if you're feeling just broken and down and like you're missing something, that hole in your heart, in yourself, can only be filled by Jesus alone. And everyone needs Jesus, and I know it's cliche to say as a Christian, but it's the complete and honest truth. And honestly, if I had not found God, I probably, number one, would not be here today. But if I was still here, I would not be happy, and I would not have the joy that I now have today. The second question asks, how do you feel most loved? Completely and honestly, I feel most loved when somebody like remembers something that I said a long time ago, or like they just take their time to listen, even if I'm ranting, like, because I do have to say I do that quite often, and it means a lot to me when somebody will sit there and listen to me and really make me feel like they care. The third question asks, what is something that I have personally overcome? So to kind of give you guys a little bit of a background on my life, I wasn't raised in the greatest family situation. My parents were divorced at the age of 2. My mom was, I was with my mom on weekends, and even though she was physically there, she was not emotionally or mentally there. She was always on pills, always exposing me and my half-sister to things that we should not have been exposed to. From a very young age, I was scarred a lot, and I had to see a lot of things that I should not have had to have seen. I lived with my dad and my grandparents during the week. Like, they had, my dad had full physical custody of me, and even in that situation, they weren't able to show me back then the love that I really needed, and that took a toll on me a little bit too. When I was younger, I cried a lot over everything, and you could ask anybody, everything that anybody said to me made me start crying, and because of that I was made fun of a lot, and I had almost no friends. I was picked on every single day. Nobody wanted to hang out with me. I had one really good friend, but even that, we weren't that close. So I just felt really alone and abandoned a lot of my childhood. And I felt like I had no support and I had nobody there for me. In 6th grade, I started a new school, and this school had more drama in it than any school that I've ever seen. I was there for 3 years, and those 3 years would be the pivotal point where my depression really started setting in. At the end of 2012, I was really falling into a pit really quickly, and my depression was just consistently getting worse, but it was still bearable at the time. I was still able to handle it. I was still able to hide it and just not really let anybody know about it. The summer of 2013, I was super popular. I had parties. I had people from my grade over all the time, but I felt so alone. I felt so empty. I was having conflicts with my dad and my stepmom, who I now consider my mom and I have a great relationship with. but I was just struggling, and I was really getting myself into a lot of trouble too. I was really disobedient, and I was just really going down the wrong path. I started getting so depressed that my thoughts 24/7 were filled with thoughts of suicide and ways that I could kill myself. And I thought about death 24/7. And it was a really horrible thing to go through. One night in August of 2013, I was planning to take my life. And I had posted something about suicide on Twitter, which my parents didn't know I had at the time. And my friend wrote me on Facebook about how I shouldn't kill myself. And my parents saw the message before I did, and at that point they had found out about everything that I was doing. They found out all the lies that I was telling them. They found out about all the social media that I was hiding from them. But most importantly, they found out about my depression and about the fact that I wanted to kill myself. They immediately called up the pastor of the church that we were attending at the time and started getting me help through them. They pulled me out of public school, and they took away everything that was a distraction for me and really just kind of let me sit in my room with a Bible. And it sounds cruel to some people, but I thank my parents every day. I thank God for my parents every day, because if they had not done that, if they had let me keep all those distractions that I had, I would have never seeked God on my own, and I probably would have killed myself. Because I found Jesus, because I really surrendered my life, I haven't felt depressed since, and I haven't wanted to kill myself. I've been so happy. Life has been absolutely great. I've never loved my life so much before, and it's just my journey since then has been so great. I'm going on 3.5 years now of being happy and healthy, and it's just an amazing feeling. So if that's not an example enough for some of you that Jesus really changes lives, then I don't know what else is going to shake you. But for me, it took hitting rock bottom. It took being on my knees, crying out to God, wanting to kill myself to actually find happiness. And it sounds terrible to go through, but I really needed something to knock me over the head and say, hey, God is real, God loves you, God wants a relationship with you. And it's changed my life forever. So bottom line, I have overcome depression and I have overcome suicide. Next question asks, what is your biggest weakness and or struggle? One thing that I have been struggling with, but I feel like I am definitely overcoming, like I don't want to speak it out at all, but in the past, recent past, I have struggled very highly with anxiety. Everything I did, everything I thought about, I just got anxious. I had anxiety attacks, panic attacks, and it destroyed me. It like really tore me down. Like I was scared to do anything, even driving. I didn't do anything wrong sometimes, and I would just get anxious and be like, I don't know, like I don't want to do this, like this, it freaks me out. Even at work, like I would just get anxious. At home, I would just get anxious, and it was really hard to deal with. One of my weaknesses, I guess my weakness that I could fully admit is that I don't spend enough time with God, and I don't spend as much time with God as I'd like to. There's really nothing stopping me from spending time with God. I just don't really commit to it as much as I should, and I'm fully aware of that, and it's something that I'm totally working on, and I'm not making excuses by any means, because I don't have any. But I am working on it, and I think that I'm steadily working myself up back to having a relationship with God like it was before. And I'm proud of myself from where I am right now. The last question asks, what legacy do you want to leave here on earth? This is like a really deep question for me, because it's not something that I've really ever thought about before. Of course, just like everyone else, I want to make a difference, but I don't want to make just a simple difference. I don't want to like say, oh, I made this huge recycling program, or, you know, not saying that that stuff is small, like that stuff is a really big deal, it's important. But for me, like, I don't know, I want to change lives. I want to inspire people. I want to win lives for Christ. I want to lead people to God, and I want to make an impact in a way that is outstanding. When I stand before God at the end of my life, I want to be able to look Him in the eye and say, every single gift that you gave me, every single talent and strength that you gave me, I used it for you and I used it to glorify you. I don't want to go to God and have any bit of me left that I didn't use because I was too ashamed or I was too afraid. I want to be able to like full-heartedly put my entire self into impacting, even if it's just one person, and talking to people about God just so I can change somebody's life and help them find Jesus and find true happiness. So that is it for the Let's Go Deeper tag. It was really eye-opening for me, and these were really deep questions. Like, Kristen Loria was not kidding when she said let's go deeper. It was a really great it was great. I loved answering these questions, and I hope that these questions inspired some of you to think about your life and think about the answer to these questions from your own perspective. And I'd love to see some of you guys make a video answering these questions. I'd love to see what other people have to say and what other people have been through and have overcome and struggle with. So thanks so much for watching this video, guys. I'm hopefully going to be uploading a video next week. I'm going to try to stay on top of these videos and make some consistently so that we're not waiting like 6 months until the next one. So until next time, guys, see you soon.